Hey, this is Dr. Sullivan, and I'm here to show you some of the differences between the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' newest animated series, the Shellraiser, and the Party Wagon from the Toys R Us exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Retros line. This is the 80s version of basically the Shellraiser, but they called it the Party Wagon back then. So, first off, we're going to start with the Shellraiser. This is my son's, so pardon the much loved look here. So you've got your wheels, you've got a door here that opens up. This little guy does open, and he spins out, and you can swing a turtle on it, but my son has really loved this thing to death, so that's not really working for him right now. He's had it for a while, so I'll cut him a break. Back here, we do have a door that this opens up. You can stick turtles in that way. On the side, you have a cannon up here. You have a cannon on the top. You have a compartment here that you can stick the turtles in. This does actually have a flap when you buy it, but again, my son has really loved this thing to death. So the flap is currently MIA. And then you have the back. The wagons, see, that pops off. It does actually shoot darts out. It's one of the first things I get rid of when he gets something like this, or the darts, because I don't want him shooting the dog or something. Yes, that has happened. So that is pretty much the Shellraiser. Oh, underneath, the wheels, the axles are covered up. So, those are not exposed. That's the difference between this and the Party Wagon, you'll see in a minute. But overall, it's a pretty sturdy, it's a good toy. He's had this for probably about a year now. So this is about as much carnage as a toy he goes through within that time period. So it's actually had a really well thing, come to think of it. The next up is the Party Wagon. And it right here. This is the one from the 80s animated series. This is the series that I grew up with. And you've got your front. This pops open. You can open up, close it. Side. The stickers come with it already on, just so you know. You don't have to apply any stickers for this. There's the back, and we're back to the side. Now, the cool thing about this one is that the top opens up. And when the top opens up, the door swings open. But look at all that room you have in there for turtles. I mean, come on, you could fit all of them there, plus a few foot soldiers if you wanted to. Right there and all that. Now, there's a trick to this. To close this door, you can't just do this and let it go. Because as you can see, it'll fly right back open. So you have to close this first, put this here, hold them together, and then slam the top shut. And once you do that, it'll stay shut. The bottom, the axles are exposed. This is just the way it was in the 80s, down to even that detail, which is kind of cool. So that is the Party Wagon. Now, I'm going to show you something real quick. If you pop this open, this door actually pops off. But it pops right back on. So, it's not really a big deal. So, just close that. Shut that. And there you have the Party Wagon. So, now, I'm going to show you one of the action figures. I have to get him dressed here. My son undressed him right before I did this video. So lovely. And this is Splinter. And I really like Splinter because he actually looks just like he did in the animated series. And he looks just like the way I remember the action figure growing up. So, let's dress him back up. Get you on camera. All of the Party Wagon also does come with some little accessories that you can play with, some weapons and such, but, that's one more thing for my son to have to try and pick up at night. One more thing for him to lose. I usually take those accessories and just hide them somewhere. Okay, Splinter is ready for his close-up. There he is. So, as you can see, he does have a fabric. He does have a fabric clothing on. He does have a little belt here. He also comes with a bunch of little fun accessories to pop out. If your child's old enough to play with them, great. If they're not, choking hazard, throw them away. Or put them up till they're old enough. He does have a bow as well. This is a toy from the 80s. He's not designed to really, as you can see, hold the bow. So, You know, you can hold it and go, psh, 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 you know, fight the Foot Clan. So, anyway, so I mentioned he can come undressed. It's really easy, so you might want to consider, if you don't want your kids to undress Splinter, you might want to put a little bit of super glue right here on his belt. Let me raise his hands up so you can see. Right here, I would just put a dab of super glue and close up his belt. Otherwise, this will come off very easily. I mean, we're talking, I could close it for you right now. It'll pop open before I'm done talking. Watch. Say, yeah. So anyway, there's his belt. I'll go ahead and show you how this works. And he's got his little fabric cape there. Pretty easy to make a new one if you've got a child that likes to sew and do little crafty things. You can make him a new cape. Naked rat. Can I show this on Geek Mom? Might have to put a sensor bar in a few places here. His tail moves. His mobility is pretty good. You know, he's an action figure from the 80s. He's nothing real special with mobility here. This is a part you should pay attention to, though, right here. I'm pulling back on his arm, and this is being exposed. The turtles, with this much pressure, this part, their little arm will actually pop off. I actually popped Raphael's off in my office one day while I was playing with them. But the good news is they pop right back on. But if you've got a child who likes to chew on their action figures, is going to chew on the arm, I would suggest either super gluing that in place or just waiting until they're not going to chew on it to give it to them. But, you know, his head's pretty sturdy. I can't even budge that off. He moves from side to side. So, that is Splinter. So, I hope this has helped you decide, you know, if you want to get the Shellraiser for your child or if you want to get the Party Wagon. I highly suggest the Party Wagon just because you can fit a lot more turtles in it. It's a little bit more simple. And it doesn't have anything that you can shoot the pets with, none of those little cannons or anything. It's also what I grew up with. It's my favorite. My little brother and I pulled it out the night that it arrived, and we went nuts. I thought he was going to walk out of my house with it if I hadn't been keeping an eye on him. So, anyway, that's it. So, cowabunga!